What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap. Ohtani, he's back to hitting baseballs over fences, and in that same game, we had some very interesting drama. A former All-Star got ejected. He then chucked his glove into the stands. He then said he was on the worst team in baseball, and that's why he does not have any regrets about his actions. And then 20-30 minutes later, he was cut. Bryce Harper was taking on the Giants, and he almost got clipped by a pitch. He was not happy, and this was on the 7-year anniversary of him taking on Hunter Strickland back in the day. You guys remember that? And also, by the way, Gunnar Henderson, I mean, my goodness, he's looking like lefty A-Rod. All of that and more in today's MLB Recap. Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets, and my code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy gets new users a free pick'em and $250 in bonus cash. So before we show anything else, we got to show why that Mets pitcher threw his glove, got ejected, said that his team sucks, and then got DFA'd. But I guess before that, what is going on down in Queens? Edwin, he's now on the IL with a shoulder impingement. Pete Alonso, he got hit by a pitch. He's out the game. This is just a year from hell for the Mets fan base. Will Smith, he now has 8 home runs and a home run in back-to-back games. Andy Pages, there you go, kid. He was in a little mini slump, but he and Ohtani both singled to put the LA Dodgers up by 3. That was a 114-mile-per-hour laser from Ohtani, just throwing that out there. But here comes the Mets. Tomas Nido and JD Martinez, they combined to tie it up. Nido on the 2-run home run, and JD, he doubles in Lindor. He's facing off against his former Dodger buddies. Nothing happened between the 6th, the 7th, and the, never mind. Will Smith, he is seriously swinging himself into some elite catcher conversations. That's career home run number 100. He also owns a 127 career OPS plus. He's hitting like a DH, not a catcher who has a cannon. Miguel Rojas, he taps one. It's now 5-3. The other Miguel, he dropped one the other way in shallow right for 2 more RBIs. Miguel Vargas, he doubles in 2, and now it's 9-3 because Ohtani, he just swatted his first home run in Citi Field. He has 14 home runs, 13 stolen bases. Over his last 162 games, he's got 99 extra base hits and 115 RBIs. That home run was off of Jorge Lopez. Now, before we show him getting ejected, I got to show Jason Hayward tattooing a solo home run. Okay, here's where the drama starts. Third base umpire Ramon De Jesus, he's known for having a quick trigger. He tosses Jorge Lopez. Lopez then threw his glove into the stands. He goes back into the dugout. Reporters are wondering what happened. Jorge says that he's on the worst team in baseball. He doesn't regret anything. And then a couple moments later, he got DFA'd, aka cut by the Mets. I've never seen that before, and I don't think we're ever going to see that ever again. Hey guys, it's Editor Fuzzy. Before we move on to the next game, I do want to say that Jorge Lopez spoke out. He said that English is not his first language. The media made it worse. He said he's the worst teammate, not that he's on the worst team. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. There you go. More drama coming up in this Phillies and Giants game. Not before Kyle Schwarber got us going with a solo home run the other way. He's quickly approaching 300 career home runs. I'm hoping that he can keep it up into his late 30s, maybe 40s. I want him to get to 400 home runs. Okay, if you're not looking, please look at the screen. Giants lefty Kyle Harrison, he had some command issues, and Harper, he took exception on a fastball up by his hand/chin area. Harper barks at him to throw it over the effing plate, and what is going on? Another runaway fastball. This time Harper kept it cool. He stares back at Harrison, but nothing came of it, even though the benches did empty. But the reason why this was so fun is because 7 years ago to the date, Bryce Harper, when he was on the Nationals, he took on Hunter Strickland in that same stadium, or I should say park. It's Oracle Park. He lost the grip as he was chucking his helmet. Good times, good times. Castellanos, he muscled up for a 2. Wait, did Ramos catch that? I need a replay real quick. Oh, so Ramos barely missed that robbery. Nick Castellanos does collect a 2-run home run. Schwarber and Harper, they both add to the lead with some RBI singles. The Phillies, they win easy 6-1. They're 1 win away from 40 Ws. By the way, tip of the cap to Christopher Sanchez, who went 6 shutout with 7 strikeouts. He has a 2.8 ERA on the season. So we're going to skip to the 4th inning of this A's and Rays game because Brandon Lau, he just tied it on a triple. He's been struggling bad since coming off the IL, so it's cool to see him leg out an RBI 3-bagger. Oakland, they grabbed the lead back 2 innings later. Miguel Andujar, he hit a Q-shot RBI single, and that was right before Tampa tied it again on a Jonathan Aranda base hit. They almost took the lead, but Aranda was cut down at home, and Randy, he tried to go home as well. He was trying to steal home. It was close. That's how little faith the Rays have in that Alex Jackson guy, the hitter, who has not had a base hit since May 8th. Now, Isaac Paredes did get one more across. He doubled in Palacios in the 8th inning. Yandy, he was thrown out at home, so it's 3-2. The lead lasted all of like 13.7 seconds. J.J. Bleday, he baited the Rays into throwing to second base after he singled, and Schumann, he scores, so it's tied in the 9th. Geloff, he's at the dish. He pummels one, a deep shot to center. Randy and Jose, they're going for it. Siri got like 2 feet of airtime. He makes the grab, and then a few moments later, he walks it off. They brought in the left fielder for a 5-man infield and then pitched him away, but he yanked it. He pulls it into no man's land in left field. The Rays, They're 27-29. We had a sick pitching duel down in Seattle. Future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander was taking on the budding All-Star George Kirby. Houston got one on the board in the fourth on a Jake Myers blooper, but Dominic Canzone had his pitchers back. Canzone almost went 415 feet for his 5th home run. That was it for either pitcher. Kirby struck out 8 Astros over 6 frames. JV was just a touch better. He struck out 9 over 7. They both combined for just 1 walk over 13 innings. I don't know how much gas Verlander has left in the tank, but he could seriously end up top 5 all-time in strikeouts. If he gets to 3,702, he'll pass Burt Blyleven for 5th all-time. The Mariners were threatening with a walk-off in the 9th, but Hader, he pumped a fastball right past Mitch Haniger. They needed some free baseball to settle this one, and all that did was delay the inevitable. J.P. Crawford, he sky went to right. That's his 5th career walk-off. No one can make that throw, not even Roberto Clemente, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Yasiel Puig, you name it, they can't make that throw. The Mariners, they've won 4 games in a row. It's kind of crazy how the Rangers and the Mariners have kind of mirrored each other all season long. The Mariners have won 4 in a row. The Rangers are going for their 3rd win in a row. Wyatt Langford, he's back in the lineup. He singles to start the 3rd, and don't forget, even though he's built like a tree, like he's thick, he can flat out fly. He scores all the way from first after Heim hit one down the line for a double. I do want to say that Arizona got hosed by a strike 3 call in the 5th inning. It kind of looked like Angel Hernandez versus Wyatt Langford a few weeks ago, just not as bad. Dane Dunning, his day is over. He got through 5 innings with 6 strikeouts, but he did walk 4. That's why he couldn't go more than 5 innings. Corey Seager turned on the first pitch he saw in the 6th inning. He now has 13 home runs and 8 home runs in his last 8 games. Langford, he grabbed himself an RBI later in the 8th. And even though Texas won easy, I do want to show Corbin Carroll's 3rd hit. That's an RBI right there. He's still hitting just 193 on the season. Kirby Yates, he had to put a blanket on the potential fire. He does not get a save, but the Rangers, they're now 27-29. The Diamondbacks, they're 25-30. All right, let's talk about the doubleheader from yesterday. Games 1 and 2 of the Pirates versus the Tigers could not be any more different than each other. The Tigers flat out cooked the Pirates in game number 1. Matt Vierling's monster week continued after Wencel Perez tripled for the 5th time this year. Vierling knocked in Perez. Now skipping to the 5th, Nick Gonzalez, he catapulted himself into Jake Rogers. Nick drops the ball. No interference is called. So instead of a 2-run home run, Matt Vierling, he socks a 3-run tater off of Jared Jones. Vierling now has 6 home runs, 27 RBIs, and an almost 130 OPS plus. The Tigers, they put up 8 for Tarek Skubal, who was masterful again. Tarek held the Pirates in check over 7 scoreless. He only allowed 3 base hits, 1 walk, and he struck out 8. Scoobs now has a 2.4 ERA, a 2 FIP, and an 11.1 strikeouts per 9 over his last 147 innings. He's 100% going to be in Cy Young conversations for the next half decade, maybe even a full decade. He's that good. So is a dude on the Yankees, but before we show the Yankees game number 2 of the doubleheader, this kid, he could win 2, 3, 4 Cy Youngs. Paul Skeens, he's making the start on his 22nd birthday. He celebrated by striking out 2 hitters in the 1st inning. His fastball slider splinker mix is just disgusting. Now, he did give up a run to the 2027 future AL MVP Akil Baddoo on a sac fly, but Paul, he was not phased at all. Down goes Torkelson on a 96-mile-per-hour splinker. McKinstry, smell ya, that's 100 miles an hour directly past him for the 4th strikeout of the day. McCutchen, he gave Paul a birthday gift. He went yard again in a Skeens game. I think that 3-run cannonball means that McCutchen has gone yard in every single Paul Skeens start this year. So if Paul Skeens is starting, put all of your 401k on McCutchen. Obviously, don't do that. I'm being facetious, but hey, it's a trend. Nick Gonzalez, that ball is not coming back. The kid's hitting .313 with 3 home runs and a .375 on base percentage. Paul Skeens racked up 9 punchies and again only walked 1 hitter. He lowers his ERA to 2.2. Okay, now it's back up to 2.4 because Vierling hit his 7th home run. That stung a little bit, but Paul, he's through 6. He does have a 2.4 ERA and a 12.5 strikeouts per 9. The kid's legit. O'Neal Cruz ended the game with a triple over to right field. That's his first base hit of the game. Actually, Nick Gonzalez ended the game. He brought home O'Neal Cruz to make it double digits. He has 16 RBIs on the year. The Pirates embarrassed the Tigers after the Tigers embarrassed the Pirates. All right, so in the intro of the last game, I said a dude on the Yankees could win Cy Young, but Garrett Cole is hurt, so if it's not Garrett Cole, who is it? We'll show him after we show Anthony Volpe securing a 21-game hit streak, which is tied for the longest in MLB this year. Judge and Soto, they both took walks, so the bases are loaded with no one out for Stanton. More interference controversy. Soto, he was called out for interfering with Neto, and they cited that he was not on an occupied base when contact was made. If his little cleat got in there and he was touching second base, it might have not been interference, but Boone, he gets ejected, arguing the call, and the Halos, they get out of that inning unscathed, and it stayed unscathed until the fourth. Alex Verdugo has been a man for the Yankees. 8 home runs after going lefty-lefty. He also has 8 DRS and 4 outs above average. He has been an absolute star for them. Okay, now we can show some Luis Hill action. Look at his pitch mix. 97 to 98 mile an hour fastball. Calhoun and O'Hoppe, they're down. And then Adele goes down on the slider upstairs. Hill had 7 strikeouts through 4 innings. Anthony Volpe's hot streak continued with a double to right field. Wait, he's burning. He's chugging. He wants 3. He gets 3 and then 4 because the ball went into the dugout. That ended up being a massive insurance run because O'Hoppe, he got some payback. Luis, he didn't let that bother him at all. Luis went 8 innings, allowed just 2 base hits. He struck out 9, and on the season, he has a 1.99 ERA and 11.2 strikeouts per 9, an MLB best 4.2 hits per 9. He's been insane. Clay Holmes, he strands a runner at third base. He has 16 saves. By the way, before we move on, I do want to mention that Luis Hill just became the first Yankee with 6 Ws and 40 strikeouts in 1 month since Roger freaking Clemens in 2001. The Yankees can leapfrog the Guardians again for best record in the American League if Colorado can squeeze out a W, and that's exactly what happened. The Rockies, they were throwing a bunch of jabs early on. They scored their first 4 runs on nothing but singles and sac flies. McMahon, he blooped one the other way. And by the way, I lied a little bit. Jacob Stallings, he laced an RBI to tie it at 2. It's now 3-2 Rockies. Now Sam Bouchard, he skies a sac fly. That was followed up by a Hunter Goodman RBI single. I really like Hunter Goodman's ceiling, but he just has to figure it out in terms of consistency. Oh no, oh yeah. Logan Allen is in serious danger of being sent down. Brendan Rodgers, he smokes a 2-run home run for his second of the year. Elias Diaz, he ripped one down the line to score McMahon from first base. And then the hometown kid took over from there. Ty Block, the starting pitcher. He's from Denver. He strung together 7 solid frames where he struck out 5. He only allowed 2 runs early in the first inning. The Guardians tried their best to do a little Cleveland rally, but they lose 7-4. So not only do they lose first place in the entire AL, but they just lost the game on Kansas City as well. This Bobby Witt Jr. kid just does not miss. I don't even know how he hit that baseball, but he squibs it for an RBI right before Salvi nearly went yard. Bobby's speed makes it an RBI double. Here's a home run. Nelson Velasquez has power for days. We call his type of pop light tower power. That's a 2-run tater. He went 437 feet, and then Salvi almost matched him. Salvi took a long look at his demolition job. 431 feet for his 10th of the season. Velasquez, he squared up another mistake pitch, and it doesn't get much easier than that for a big league hitter. 91 middle. That's a meatball directly out the hand of Bailey Ober. Nelson now has 7 home runs. I do want to show Seth Lugo because he was efficient again. Add another quality start to his belt. He struck out 5 Twins, allowed just 1 run. So after going 6 more innings, he now owns a stupid 1.72 ERA over 78 and a third innings pitch. So he leads baseball in innings pitch. It's either him or Zach Wheeler. Seth Lugo has a 238 ERA plus, which is like OPS plus for pitchers. So he's basically been 138% better than average. The Royals, they're now 35-22. So the Royals win 6-1. The Orioles also win 6-1. They got their first run on a Ramon Urias single. He got a rare start and he rewards them. Cutter Crawford, he's legit, so he can work his way. Oh yeah, okay. Gunnar Henderson, he launched a floating slider for a grand slam. He watched it for a few seconds. He flips the bat. Gunnar Henderson now has 18 home runs, 41 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 5 defensive run saves, 2 outs above average. He is playing like the lefty A-Rod when A-Rod was on the Mariners. Corbin Burns turned in another gem. Now, he did walk 3, but he struck out 5 over 7 for his 7th consecutive quality start. He has a 2.3 ERA, and I just want to show this last out because the final out came on a strikeout of Rafaela. He's roaring. The Orioles, they got to bring him back. Ramon Urias, he socked a solo home run. The Orioles, they pick up their 35th W, and they now have won 18 consecutive series against the AL East. That is a franchise record. Oof, Padres fans, close your eyes. Yu Darvish, his great start to 2024 has really been slowed down over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Nick Fortes, he slides in for an RBI double. Jazz, he smoked it hard enough to get it past Jake Cronenworth. Another run scores. Oh boy, Manny, he hit the red on that throwing meter. Otto Lopez, he just put it in play and let Manny do the rest. So it's 3-0 Miami, and Ha-Seong Kim, there's his 7th home run. Cool. That's all she wrote for the San Diego Padres scoring, though. Josh Bell, he saved his pitcher. He robs Cronenworth of an RBI double. And then Bell comes around to score on a Jake Berger rocket single. More action in the 5th. Nick Gordon, he stole a 2nd bag of the day. And Otto Lopez, he tried Machado again. This time he's credited with an RBI single. Vidal Brujan, he makes it 6 runs. finally a home run. Jesus Sanchez cracked one for his third of the season, and Jazz, he's going to split the gap and motor around for an RBI triple. Jazz has 3 triples, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, and a 120 OPS plus. The dude can flat out play. Miami, they win big 9-1. They're now 9-6 over their last 15 games. For the first time in his career, Shota Imanaga got embarrassed. Yelly and the boys, they came to play. How far did that go? Yelly went 441 feet on that 2-run lefty-lefty bomb. He now has 6 home runs and 7 stolen bases, despite the fact that he was on the injured list for quite some time. Ian Happy got 1 on a solo shot, but like I said, Shota, he was off his game. His command issues really bit him. Willie, he lined one to center for an RBI, and Gary, he doubled to make it a 5 spot off of Shota. And I bring that up because Shota had allowed 5 runs total over his first 9 starts, or 5 earned runs, and now it's 7 runs after Blake Perkins connected on a 2-run blast. 7 runs and 1 start, whereas over his first 9, he gave up 5. By the way, Blake Perkins has 5 home runs, 5 stolen bases, 4 outs above average, so he's been a cheat code as a pure athlete. Jackson Chourio, he gave us a web gem. The 21-year-old, he ends the 4th inning with a diving play. Okay, wait, hold up. The Cubs, they scored a few. It's 7-4 with the bases loaded. Dansby, he put a charge into that one, but so close. Perkins, he's got to be the most hated man in Chicago because he makes that grab. He had a 2-run home run, and he made 2 web gems later in the game to keep robbing the Cubs. Willie Adames showed the Cubs that all they had to do was hit it over the fence. Adames now has 9 home runs, 8 stolen bases, 6 outs above average. He's going to get a fat bag in the offseason. Remember, he's a free agent. Man, Frankie Montas has been a buzz so far for the Reds. He almost has a 5 ERA, and it's really cool to see Matt Carpenter back in a Cardinal uniform. That's his first home run back with the Cardinals. His swing is so buttery. Nolan Gorman, he laced a double after Montas walked Goldie, and Goldie's got to get on his horse. He was 100% beat, but Luke Maile just straight up dropped it, so the run scores. Mason Wynn, this kid is a dog. He's hitting .310 with 18 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 7 DRS. He also now has a 16-game hit streak. The St. Louis starter, I just want to give him a little bit of props. Andre Payante or something like that. He held the Reds to 1 run over 6, but we're just going to skip to the 8th inning. Nolan Gorman now has 10 home runs. The backspin on that was insane. The launch angle was 40 degrees, which is insanely high, and it just kept on drifting and drifting. Both teams, they traded a few runs. Ellie's ground out ends it in the 9th inning. The Cardinals, they have now won 5 straight series. They're back to 500. They're 27-27. Spencer, not Strider, Spencer Schwellenbach was making his debut for the Braves. He got Lane Thomas for his first career save. Why did I write save? His first career strikeout. Come on. I love long last names, by the way. Like, his last name takes up the entire back of the jersey. Lane Thomas got his payback, though. 4 innings later, Lane opened the hips, and that's as pretty as it gets. A 96 fastball inside from Schwellenbach. That provided all of the juice that Lane needed for a 3-run home run. We have more Lane Thomas action. He steals a base hit from Ozzie Albies to end the 5th inning. Jacob Young, excuse me, that's an RBI. He half swung, and it still worked out. Kyber Ruiz, he tacked on 2 more for a big 7-run day off the Atlanta staff. Now, I'm not going to move on until we show Mackenzie Gore's 10 strikeouts. Mackenzie didn't walk anyone either, and over his last 2 starts, he has 18 strikeouts in 12 innings, and for the season, he officially has a sub-3 ERA. Please, baseball gods, let us have Mackenzie Gore stick. I need him to be good. Oh, man, this makes me so sad. Alek Manoah, he was looking as locked in as, I mean, I'll take it with a grain of salt. They're playing the White Sox, but he had 3 strikeouts over an inning and 2/3. And then this happened. Something pinched, and I hate even saying this out loud, but it was elbow discomfort. I hate that for him. I'm praying that they took him out as an extra precaution and that the MRI shows that there's no structural damage. The pen did their job in relief, and so did the offense. Vladdy, he singled in the 3rd inning to get 2 runners on, and Bo Bichette, he keeps on driving and runs. He waits on a looping curveball, and then IKF, he turned on a pitch an inning later for their 2nd run. IKF has a 110 OPS plus and 5 DRS, so he's been slick defensively. Paul DeJong, he's been great defensively as well. He robs Bo with a nice play in the 5th inning. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa wanted base hit number 2, but this was called a fielder's choice, like legit. The box score says grounded into a fielder's choice as Kirk, he gets thrown out at second base, but IKF does get his 2nd RBI. Romano, he's showing off these sick, fanatic Nike jerseys, and the fact that they're sweat-proof and sweat-wicking. I mean, good Lord, he's sweating right through that thing. Corey Lee, he said this game is not over yet. I really like Corey Lee as a catcher. He has 5 home runs, 3 stolen bases. He just has to work on the blocks. Varsho, he doesn't have to work on defense at all. His web gem seals it. He has 7 outs above average. Romano's 8th save of the season secures the Blue Jays' first sweep of the entire year. Well, that does it for today's recap. I just want to say one more time, I'm so blessed to have you guys on my side. Thank you so much for supporting MLB Recap and other channels in the community. I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause and a pat on the back because you've saved a lot of other channels. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the web gems. Have a great day.
Reaches out and pokes it to left. Profar going back
and Lux breaks his bat, and it's snagged by McCann.
All the more difficult. McCann will loop this one toward right. Long run into Brave coming on dive.
Ground it and grab by Volpe. The throw to first. Got him. Oh!
And this is topped to short on the backhand. Tovar with the tap.
Popper up the right side. Foul ball. Yandy on the move.